Thank you for listening to the show on Really Big Something Channel. September 20th, 2017.
The Kuhner Report, presented by Kelly Financial Services. This is the Kuhner Report.
Shame on you. Shame on you. And I'm speaking now directly to the New England Patriots, the Boston Bruins, the Celtics, the Red Sox, and let's even throw in the Revolution because they're in on the act as well. To all of you major sports teams, professional sports teams in the Boston area, shame on you for insulting your own fans. And my friends, I got to tell you, this is unbelievable. I mean, really, it's almost now every week there is a new low in terms of capitulation and appeasement of Black Lives Matter. And what you're seeing now is Black Lives Matter hijacking professional sports. They're even going all the way down to youth football. I'm going to get to that later. But here in Boston, all of the major sports teams, as I mentioned, the Patriots, the Bruins, the Celtics, the Red Sox, the Revolution, all of them are now uniting, they say, against a common enemy, a common opponent. And what is that common opponent? You guessed it. Racism. Racism. So what they're now going to do, because, you know, Boston is just such a racist city, and there are so many racist fans, and it's just that the KKK is everywhere. White supremacists are everywhere. So to combat racism, I swear to you, now they are going to have professional players from all the teams do public service announcements, which you're going to hear, they say, at the games. So whether you go see a Patriots game, a Bruins game, a Celtics game, a Red Sox game, a Revolution game, whatever, you're going to hear, you know, all kinds of PSAs throughout the game. I'm not kidding. You know, don't say the N-word. We need to be tolerant and compassionate and have respect for diversity. You know what? There's no home for hate. Stop the hate. Stop racism. We need to be inclusive. And they're going to play it again and again and again. Now, I've got to ask you the $64,000 question. And I'm speaking now to you, Kuhner country, to you. Do you feel insulted? Because what the implication here is crystal clear, is that in the wake of the Adam Jones incident, who claimed, the player for the Orioles, who claimed that he heard the N-word from somebody in the stands, which, by the way, there's no evidence of that. I don't believe him. But, of course, the Red Sox went, oh, our fans, we're so ashamed of our fans, and they started to apologize. Then John Henry wants to rename Yawkey Way because one of the previous owners, Tom Yawkey, was late to hire black players, so they have to apologize for that by renaming Yawkey Way. And then last week, some Black Lives Matter people unfurled racism is as American as baseball on the Green Monster. So in the wake of these so-called racism issues, the implication is clear. What they're saying is that you, the fans, are racist, and that Boston is a racist city. Now, a couple of points, and then I want to take your calls. And if you want to weigh in, 617-266-6868 is the number. Point number one, and this is almost obvious, but, you know, when you're dealing with moonbats, the obvious can be frightening for them. This is not Selma, Alabama. This is not Mississippi burning. This is not Johannesburg, South Africa. We don't live in an apartheid system. So this idea that somehow there's segregation in Boston, Jim Crow in Boston, apartheid in Boston, is absolutely ludicrous. I mean, it's ludicrous. In fact, I even asked Jared at our pre-show meeting, because he used to work for ESPN for 13 years. And I said, Jared, look, you're the sports expert here. Does any other city do this? I mean, even Los Angeles, even the crazy moonbats in California, do they so openly insult their fans like this? He goes, not that I'm aware of. So suddenly now, the people of Boston are such racists that now they have to be told over PSAs not to be racist? They have to be lectured to and listen to public service announcements blaring from the speakers or the horns? Now, I've mentioned this before, but it bears repeating again. The average cost for a family of four to see, let's say, a Patriots game, and I'm not talking great seats, I'm talking up in the nosebleeds. You count in $50 parking, you count in gas, you count in concessions, $15 for a beer, or $10 for a beer, or whatever it is, $8 for a hot dog, whatever it is $500. For the Celtics, a family of four is about $360. For the Bruins, it's about $350. For the Red Sox, about $250. For the Revolution, I don't know. But in other words, you want to take your family out to see a game. Okay, here, the Patriots, just for the sake of argument. So I got to shell out 500 smackaroos. I got to pay parking up the wazoo. You're gouging me at the concession stand. I'm up in the freaking nosebleeds. Are those players down there? What is that? I mean, it's so far. Are those really people or are they ants? Okay. And then on top of it all, I got to listen to this garbage? I got to be lectured to and told that, I'm a racist? Or my fellow fans and neighbors are potentially racist? This is what I got to listen to as I shell out $300, $400, $500? This is insulting. This is demeaning. This smears and libels the people of Boston and frankly of New England, all of you, because, it's not just Boston and New Hampshire, whatever, Rhode Island, Maine, they all root for the Boston sports teams. They're basically saying this city, this state, this region is full of racists. Now, furthermore, I know it's politically correct. And I know we all have to now coddle and appease Black Lives Matter. Okay, I understand the thinking now behind these sports teams and why they're doing this. But guys, come on. I mean, really, you can't find another cause? I mean, racism. Who's not against racism? No, really, honestly, who's not against racism? It's the most obvious, trendy, chic thing to do. The most obvious, politically correct thing to do. We stand against racism. Guys, how about abortion? Come on now. 55, 60 million dead unborn babies? Jeff, we don't want to do that, Jeff. Jeff, we can't do that. Okay. How about terrorism? We did have the Boston Marathon terrorist bombing. We did have the attempt by ISIS, what was that, in Roslindale, I believe, Brittany? Anyway, yeah, in Roslindale, where they wanted to behead people on the bus and video it and videotape it and show it to the entire world, and it was stopped by the grace of God at the last minute. We have had Islamic terrorist cells here in Boston for years. How about we take a stand against terrorism? How about you guys show some real courage? Instead, the easy, politically correct way out, which is to smear, libel, and insult your own fans and the people who buy your product. I've never seen this in my life. I said this to Jared. I go, Jared, so we're the ones that are paying their salaries and lining their pockets. And they still on top of it? Not only are they giving us, frankly, a garbage product, okay? Not only is it a bad product, not only are they overcharging us for everything, but then you're in our face by calling us a racist? Enough is enough. I don't want you to politicize sporting events. I am sick and tired of the politicization of everything in America. When I shell out $300, $400, $500 to take my Grace and my Ashton and my Ava to see a Celtics game or a Red Sox game or a Bruins game or a Patriots game, don't start lecturing to me about racism or Black Lives Matter or how we're all a bunch of white supremacists. I don't want to hear it. I'm sick of it. And if you're going to continue to politicize sports, honestly, guys, I got better things to do. Are you sick of it like I am? Are you insulted by this? 617-266-6868. Lines are loaded. Bill in Hyde Park, you're up first. Go ahead, Bill.
Thanks for giving me the show, Jeff. Okay?
Go ahead, Bill. The floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, sir. Now, Jeff, you've been here, 4 or 5, maybe 6 years?
5 years now.
Okay. And, Jeff, where do you live, in the Foxborough area?
Foxborough, Rentham area. Yes, I'm 5 minutes from Gillette.
Okay, now you come in and out of Boston, and you have you ever resided in Boston at all?
Have I lived in Boston? No, but I mean, I work in Boston. I do a lot of charity events in Boston.
But you're in and out of the station. You got security people there and everything. The point I'm trying to say to you, Jeff, okay, is I'm 79 years old, okay, and I've been living here all my life. And as far as Fenway Park is concerned, and the area, I lived in that area. I lived over from Speech over. I could walk from my house to Fenway Park in 15 minutes.
Okay, Bill, I don't mean to cut you off, but what's your point? What's your point, Bill?
My point is this. Is that you just come here and now maybe you might feel your rights are being violated by them having to speak out against racism. But it's people like you that promote racism. It's people like you wouldn't have. Now the fact is that you got an audience in Boston, Massachusetts. Okay, you wouldn't be able to have an audience anywhere else. Not in the United States of America. Not in Mississippi, Alabama, any place. And the fact is, it's de facto desegregation. And, you have the greatest people in the world living here, but it's people like you that keep us back, or keep. So
I'm keeping. Hold on, I'm keeping you back, Bill. I'm keeping what?
With your racial comments, with your insinuations.
So I'm a racist then, Bill.
What?
I'm a racist.
Yes, you are, Jeff.
Should I be banned?
I've asked you many times, Jeff. Let's have a debate. Let's have an open debate.
Okay. We've had open debates, Bill. I mean, what did I, by the way, what have I ever said that's racist, Bill? I'm just curious.
You like other people on radios. The only person that's on your station, you take Howie Carr. Okay?
No, forget Howie. No, I'm talking about me now, Bill. Just what have I said that's racist?
You're so, it's
give me one thing I've said that's racist.
It's not what you say, it's what you've said.
Okay, what have I said that's racist? Hello, Bill? He can't give us an answer. Okay. Well, guys, I don't know, ban me then. I mean, if I'm such a racist, they should, look, leave the fans alone. Don't inundate them with PSAs and just ban me. How's that? I'll be banned in Boston. I can live with that, but leave the fans alone. 617-266-6868. This is from 781. You can text us 680-680. Jeff, I was at the Bruins game last night, first preseason home game, and they gave a minute-long PSA about not tolerating any offensive language gestures, blah, blah, blah. What a joke. I know, it's insulting. And you know what it reminds me of? I'm serious. It's what the communists used to do. You go to these sporting events like, Europe and soccer, it's the big thing, and there they are, We are the champions of the working class. Communism is good. Capitalism, imperialism is bad. American dogs. We are all communists. We love the party. We love communism. I mean, it's brainwashing. It's Black Lives Matter indoctrination. I'm like, okay, we're bad. I'm bad. I'm a very racist guy. Okay. Paul in Westford. Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, Jeff. Afternoon.
Hi.
A couple things here. What's really outrageous and insulting is you telling me that I need to be insulted and outraged at them telling us that. And here's the thing, too. Racism is in different degrees. You are a racist. Just by the sheer fact that you're against Black Lives Matter, you just can't let it go. Let them say their piece. You have to be adamantly against it. That is a source of racism.
So hold on, let me get this straight. If I oppose Black Lives Matter, in other words, people who openly call for the murder of police officers, people who engage in rioting, in looting, in the destruction of private property, people who go in and tear up neighborhoods, who assault old ladies on the Boston Common, if I oppose that, that makes me a racist?
No, you just what you said is a racist remark. You don't even understand that.
Okay, no. What did I say that's just a racist remark?
You just said they all rape and kill, and they kill police. They do all of these bad things. You just said that.
Yes.
That's racist. You just
That's not, no. That's what Black Lives Matter does.
No, Jeff.
No. Don't no me. Did you not look at St. Louis? Have you not seen Ferguson? Have you not seen Baltimore? Have you not heard the chants in New York? Have you not heard the chants in Boston? Have you not heard the chants in Minneapolis? No, hold on. Have you not read what their co-founders have openly said? You don't read that stuff? You don't know what they're about? They're a domestic hate group. Hello?
You're picking and choosing what you
I'm not picking and choosing. That's the movement.
No, Jeff,
what you can't understand is this. You can't grasp the fact that you are supporting a domestic terrorist organization and a domestic hate group that hates cops and hates whites and engages in illegal and violent activity. That's what you can't wrap your mind around.
You hate blacks, Jeff, and you're saying it all. You're just proving your
point. Right. So tell me, hey, if I hate blacks so much, how come I wanted to adopt them? If I hate blacks so much, tell me, how come I do all these events in Dorchester to benefit minority kids? If I hate blacks so much, why am I the only one speaking out for law and order so those poor kids can go to school? How come I'm the only one that's speaking out against the high rate of abortion of unborn black babies? If I hate blacks so much, why do I defend them so much? No, you can't rebut the facts. So all you have to do is call me a racist. You know what that means? You're a loser. 12:57 here on the great WRKO. Okay, it's now come to this. So Black Lives Matter now hijacks all of the professional Boston sports teams. The Celtics, the Bruins, the Patriots, the Red Sox, and the Revolution all now say they must combat, you guessed it, racism in Boston, in Massachusetts, and in New England. And so they will now be putting up public service announcements. You're going to hear them at every game. They're going to play them, I don't know how many times during a game, but they're going to play them, denouncing racism and asking you not to be racist. And so the Kuhner Country poll question of the day, sponsored by Bill Kelly Financial Services, is this. Are you insulted? As a sports fan, is this insulting to you? If the answer is yes, and frankly to me, you can't smear a sports fan more than this, in my view, text the letter A to 680-680. If the answer is no, I'm not, a lot of racists in Boston, Jeff Kuhner is racist number one, then text the letter B to 680-680. As always, you can vote online at WRKO.com. Some really good text coming in. 680-680. This is from 617. Jeff, how can we fans be racists when most of Boston sports teams are 85% minorities? But you're trying to talk logic to the Moonbats. Rob in Maine, you're up next. Go ahead, Rob.
Jeff, it's insulting on two levels, not only emotionally but intellectually. Think back to the Freedom Rally in Boston when there was this major protest against racism that didn't exist. It was imagined. Those speakers were both genders, all races, colors, creeds, and so on, speaking out for freedom of speech. That's it. There was no KKK. There were no white supremacists, no neo-Nazis. But look what happened. Black Lives Matter comes rushing in. I mean, that was the news of the day. Did you even hear the speakers? I mean, I wasn't there. I was watching it on TV. I wanted to hear what the speaker said. It took me a couple of days to see it on YouTube or something, and there it was. innocent this could be. This is imagined racism. It's crazy.
Rob, thank you very much for that call. Look, I covered that very closely. They had, 20, 30, 40,000 of them. They blocked traffic. They stopped the streets. It was an unlawful assembly. They prevented speakers and attendees at that free speech rally from even being able to go to the grandstand. They threw rocks at police officers, urine bottles, sticks, batons, and we caught it on YouTube. They assaulted an old lady, and nobody condemned them. Not the mayor, not the governor, not the Boston Globe, not Channel 4, Channel 5, Channel 7, Channel 10. None of the sports teams condemned the hooliganism and the thuggery of Black Lives Matter. And now, on top of it all, after I shell out $400 or $500 to see your product, you're going to tell me I'm a racist? Hey, with all due respect, blank off.
WRKO, the voice of Boston.
12:38 here on the great WRKO. Okay, my friends, stunning decision, but here we are. So, Black Lives Matter now hijacks all of Boston's professional sports teams. Are you insulted? The Celtics, Bruins, Patriots, the Red Sox, the Revolution now say to combat racism among their fans, they have to now feature public service announcements from players from all these teams, and you're going to hear them now in all these games to not be racist. So are you insulted? 617-266-6868. My friends, the Moonbats, if you've noticed, they're lighting up the phones today. They're really going after me on the text machine. It's because of my confrontation with Elizabeth Warren. I really damaged her and exposed her in that confrontation. I now have a column where it's just driving them crazy. You want to talk about exposing the hypocrisy of Elizabeth Warren? This is the column. And so please, I urge all of you, go to WRKO.com, Kuhner's Corner. It's called Confronting Elizabeth Warren, the question she fears most. Please read it and pass it on to as many people as possible. It's time that we showed the Moonbats for the frauds, hypocrites, and thugs that they are. 617-266-6868. Okay, lines are loaded. Grace in Boston.
Hey, Jeff. Thanks for having me on.
They got me again. Sorry. I'm sorry. I should say Dr. Grace from her Starbucks in Norwood. My apologies.
Hey, Jeff, listen, I mostly agree with you, but I want to just say something. There are definitely still, we don't need to be lectured at a ball game. I agree with you on that. But there are still instances of racism, and I know that when you say in personal life, when we've seen it, we've been appalled by it. Like, for example, we have a very dear friend who is dating a guy from Trinidad. She's white, he's black. And her father refuses to say hi to him just because of the color of his skin. And I know that when I told you this story, you said, oh my God, that's disgusting. I said, that's disgusting. We were outraged. So there are instances of racism. It's true. But what I would say is this. If the liberals want to talk about racism, I want to talk about democratic racism, liberal racism. What they have done is they have stripped our society of Christianity that unites us. That's what unites us. I have a black Christian friend. We see eye to eye on just about everything. Christianity unites us. And this liberal secularism divides us. And that's the root of racism. If you want to talk about racism, let's talk about what holds blacks down. Well, it's accepting liberal values. Any values of dependency, any values of sexual permissiveness that destroy the family, this blind allegiance to the Democratic Party and what they, purport, like abortion, which is killing the black population. So if we want to have a conversation about racism, I want to talk about liberal racism, democratic racism. Blacks will be prosperous, free, and happy in this country the moment it dawns on them that the real people oppressing them are liberals and Democrats. It's not we, the Christian conservatives, who truly love them, because we really believe that everybody is made in the image of God. I don't mind talking about racism, but I want to point the finger at the people that are really holding blacks down.
Dr. Grace, it's why I married you. I married up. What can I say? You're the brains in the family.
And I want people like Bill to know that Jeff has a heart of gold. And when the friend I'm talking about, we were livid that day when we heard that story. We both rallied to this guy, and we always try to make him feel totally loved. And we try to make, what happens is when somebody like that experiences real racism, they can be very defensive and they can mistrust everybody. And I know that when we had that couple over at our house, Jeff, we bent over backwards to make him feel like we just saw him as him, a person, not the color of his skin.
Sweetheart, I honestly, Dr. Grace, I really appreciate it, but I don't need to justify myself to the liberals. They can't deal with my ideas and my facts, and that's why they try to demonize me. Look, they can just look at my public record. Who defended the genocide? Who supported the victims of the genocide in Sudan? Remember that in Washington? When I led that crusade? Yeah. That was Jeff Kuhner. Who spoke out for the poor Haitians when they were being exploited by the Clintons, raped by the Clintons? Jeff Kuhner. Who was the one that set up a think tank to reach out to minorities in the black communities all across America to help lift them up out of poverty? That was you and I, remember?
Absolutely.
So I don't need lectures from them. Listen.
I know. But
you know what they're upset about?
I want to give a testimonial because I know you best.
Oh, thank you.
It's very powerful.
Thank you.
And
look, you're the best.
Emphasize the real problem are the Democratic and liberal racists. You want to talk about race? I say bring it on. Talk about race? I say bring it on.
Listen, when I married you, I won the lottery. That's it. That's all. God bless you. Thanks for calling. Enjoy that Starbucks, sweetheart. 617-266-6868 is the number. Alfie in Jamaica Plain. You're up next. Go ahead, Alfie.
Hello, Jeff.
Hi.
Yeah, Jeff, there was one thing Bill said I wanted to agree with, that the people in Boston are great people, and it's not the people that are racist. It's the media obsessed, the race-obsessed media that exploits the people in Boston. And sports has nothing to do with politics or race, so that's a big mistake. And, I hope these, wherever they're talking about Black Lives Matter at sports events, I hope they lose money.
I'm with you. Alfie, look, are there racists in Boston? Yes, of course. Why? What's the city? I mean, I know there's 7 million in Massachusetts, but it's one of the biggest cities in North America. Of course. When you have millions of people, you're going to find some idiots. But that's no different from New York, from Toronto, from Baltimore, from Philadelphia, from Chicago, from Dallas, from Los Angeles. In fact, honestly, I would say the exact opposite. Compared to other major cities that I've seen, it's a lot less racism. I'll tell you this, there's a hell of a lot more racism in Washington. That you can take to the bank. I've been to Chicago. I lived there for nearly a year, just north of it. A lot more racism in Chicago than there is here. No, you want to know the truth? Honestly, I'll tell you the truth. You know why they say this city's a racist city? It goes back to busing and the Irish and the Italians. I'm telling you, that's what this is all about. Because the smear against the Irish and the Italians is that they're racists. And so that stereotype has now lingered now for, 35, 40 years. This is one of the least racist cities in the world. Let me repeat that. I'll challenge any moonbat. Any moonbat. You want to talk racism? Compare it to London. Compare it to Paris. Compare it to Caracas in Venezuela. I can go city after city if you want to do this. No city is more multi-ethnic, more multicultural, more tolerant. And by the way, what was the cradle of the abolitionist movement? It was right here. Where was the movement to abolish slavery? I'm not talking the Republican Party. I'm talking about literally to abolish slavery. It was right here. So I'm sorry, they're inverting history to smear you. And I'm not going to let them get away with it. John in the North End. Go ahead, John.
Jeff, it's so funny that last call is one of the reasons. I'm a long-time listener. You've had me fired up more times, and this is the first time I've called you.
Welcome,
John. I grew up in the 60s and 70s in the North End of Boston. I lived through the busing crisis. Boston has often been accused by our athletes of being a racist city. Bill Russell, Louis Keon, I can go on and on. But the funny thing is, what's the circle I need you to square for me is, but we're a liberal city. Where's the racism? We're one of the most liberal cities in America, yet we're accused of being racist.
Brilliant.
What? Where?
Brilliant.
When?
Brilliant. John, honestly, it's checkmate. I mean, it's checkmate. The liberals keep saying they're not racist, they're not racist, they're not racist. Okay, so for such a racist city, by their own logic, well, guys, we're one of the most liberal cities, one of the most liberal states in the country, and one of the most liberal areas in the world. Hello?
Yes. Red Auerbach once told Bill Russell in the huddle. He pointed up to the people of Boston in the stands, us, and he told Bill Russell, if we lose this game tonight, they're going to blame you. Those were liberals in those seats.
John, great call. Please don't be a stranger. Let's go. Oh, hey, a former Montrealer like myself. Let's go to Denny. Go ahead, Denny.
Hey, Jeff. Well,
welcome, Denny.
I'm running out of sports to watch, because we had our own troubles when you were in Montreal. People weren't standing up for the national anthem because they were separatists.
Yes.
But, we were pretty smart. We were able to separate the separatists from the rest of us. And, we could start by remembering that the Democrat Party is not a democratic party. Every time we use the word democratic, you're giving them points for branding that they don't deserve because they're not acting democratic, right? So you have to remember to call them Democrats. The other thing I want to mention is, you've heard of Wag the Dog, right?
Yes.
You have to remember these people who are causing this are the minority. And we're acting like they're the ones who are in charge when they're not. It's supposed to be a democratic society. Montreal and Boston share a lot of values. We in Canada know that if we were to move, let's say, from Canada, from, let's say, Toronto, Vancouver, or Montreal, one of the better cities to go to where we're going to have the same kind of inclusiveness is Boston. I mean, there are other cities, of course, in America, but Boston is a very close one, and we're close in a lot of ways. Plus, we have the best rivalry in sports ever. So, it all puts things to play here. That you're talking about.
Denny, let me ask you this. You're dead on. Let me ask you this. Do you think in Montreal, let's say the Montreal Canadiens or the Alouettes, for those that don't know, that's the Canadian Football League, do you honestly think they would ever insult their fans like these sports teams are doing here in Boston?
Montreal Canadiens, honest to God, the Montreal Canadiens have been one of the most upright, very respectful, incredibly respectful organizations. Along with the Montreal Canadiens and the city of Montreal, we pretty much put, the near the final nails in the coffin of the separatist movement, which is all about, tearing our country apart. I mean, imagine if people were trying to take, Texas out of the Union. I mean, get out of town. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. But besides all this, there is another thing that really matters. We are in a society that works. They've always said, the worst form of politics of government is the democratic system, except for all the others. Well, also we have a capitalist system, and nothing is more nervous than $1 billion. That's how much the least you're going to pay is for a football team in the National Football League.
Denny, I got to go. I'm up against it, but that's the other thing. I mean, look. We're shelling out all these money to keep these professional teams in Boston, and they're making a fortune. God bless them. I'm not, I'm a capitalist. Go ahead, but don't bite the hand that feeds you. Don't charge me $500 to bring my family to a game, and then spit in my face. Take politics out of sports. Joe in Beverly, you're up next. Go ahead, Joe.
Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
I'm good.
Show, long time, two-time caller.
Welcome, Joe.
Well, what I wanted to say is just that, this like racism and stuff going on, I would like to speak for some of the EMS people out there. We don't care what color you are. We don't care, if somebody's got 3 gunshot bullets in his chest, we don't care what color you are. And because I voted for President Trump, I love America. I'm a nativist. I'm a patriot. I'm out there on the street for 37 years. And it's like a slap in the face to us. To see these, like, sports teams, telling me I'm a racist. I mean, why don't some of these people, Black Lives Matter, become EMTs and paramedics and really help out on the street? Okay,
Joe,
that's all I got to say.
Joe, if you before you go, can I ask you this? Are you going to continue to attend the games? Or if you hear the PSAs, you're just going to walk out?
You know something, Jeff? I loved, sitting out in my yard. I'm a homeowner. I live in Beverly. I used to love to listen to the Patriots, going out, chopping a little wood, taking care of my property. But you know something? It's become so politicized, and I can't take it anymore. So basically, I'm going to turn them off.
Interesting. Thank you for that call, Joe. All right, Tom. We're going to go to Tom. Tom in New Jersey. Go ahead, Tom.
Hey, Jeff. God bless you and your family, and red, white, and blue to you.
Thank you, Tom. Tom, I've got 1 minute. The floor is yours.
As fast
Go.
as possible.
Go.
See, Jeff, what we do wrong, we dignify this movement. This climate gangsters and race gangsters, this is about power and control and money. These are equivalent. These are modern-day mafiosos. In my lifetime, Jeff, I saw race riots in the 60s. We had almost perfect harmony in this country, I'd say about by the 80s and 90s, and President B.O. and the New World Order disrupted this because, Jeff, look at your heritage. These are modern-day communists. There's no money in peace. These are gangsters. These are mafiosos. Turn off ESPN. Clean out the stadiums. Don't stand for this. God bless you. You're Paul Revere.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tom. My friends, you know what? Let's continue this for another segment, and I want to throw one more log on the fire. 617-266-6868. Now you have 7, 8-year-old kids playing youth football. They are now taking a knee to protest the national anthem. What the hell is going on here?
The voice of Boston is you. 680 WRKO Boston, 93.7 WEEI HD2 Lawrence, Boston. It's 1 o'clock.